What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Sunday, March 9th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and a few of the biggest college basketball games on the slate. We're going to look bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, guys, went pretty nice. We had a big Sunday of college basketball action. We had 6 plays in the pinned comment. We end up going 4-2 on the day. So a nice winning day, no problem there. We had St. John's plus 2.5. That game was a thriller. St. John's eventually coming out on top there in overtime. So a crazy game there. We had Missouri minus 4.5. That was a tough one. Mizzou could not get the job done. Kentucky just jumped all over them. It was a pretty crazy game, to be honest. We had Iowa State minus 7.5. That ended up being a comfortable win there for Iowa State. They'll definitely take that. A nice win for them. A team that's had some ups and downs recently. We got kind of unlucky in that Northwestern versus Maryland over. We had over 140.5. There was 135 total points scored in that game, despite both teams really struggling to put up offense in the first half. So if they would have had normal first halves, we would have comfortably gotten over that number. So that was an irritating loss, but we finished the day strong, going 2-0 the last 2 games of the night. We had Texas A&M minus 6.5. They come through for us pretty comfortably. They ended up winning that game by 14 against LSU. I'm not sure why that spread was the way it was. We'll certainly take the win there. And we had Duke minus 10.5. They take care of business as well. And, the big rivalry game out there, they end up winning 82-69. A close thing in the first half, but Duke came out firing in the second half to win comfortably. So a 4-2 day, we'll definitely take that, guys. Do me a big favor, slam that like button. Once we get to 1,000 likes on any video, we're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random commenter. So get down in the comments as well. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, we're right around 1,000 subscribers away. We're going to be giving away another Stump the Spread hoodie. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get exclusive early access to all of my videos. You get your name up on screen in every video just like right now, but more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member on March 20th, the first day of the NCAA tournament. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there. All of us have at least 15 plus years in the industry, and together we cover all the major sports. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. MLB, our most profitable sport of the last 3 years running, is right around the corner. We just went 3-0 in our NHL picks. Not me, our NHL expert did, and yeah, very good stuff. He's been on quite the hot run over there on the hockey picks. Click the link down in the description to head over to StumpTheSpread.com and see everything we offer, including our free-to-use bet sizing calculators, exclusive free picks that aren't covered in this video, and our premium top confidence picks, including those red-hot NHL picks. If you aren't ready to become a premium member, sign up for a free account to get access to our email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I'll personally respond every single day. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Denver Nuggets going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder in an early afternoon showdown. Denver comes into this game, guys, fresh off of a nice win there, taking down the Suns. It was a little bit closer than you would like if you're a Nuggets fan, but man, Jokic was going nuts. A 30-20-20 triple-double. Like, what can't this guy do? Putting up cartoonish numbers, just wild stuff. And I think he shot 3 free throws in the game or something like that. Like, absolutely bonkers. The Nuggets at 41-22 are doing some positive things this season. Obviously, they've been climbing the standings here in the second half of the year. They're currently sitting in the 2 seed, 11 games back of Oklahoma City. So they're obviously not catching the Thunder, but they are making a very reasonable case that they're going to be the second best team out there in the West, and they're going to be an insanely tough out once playoff time rolls around. So we'll see how things go there, but the Nuggets have to be feeling pretty good about themselves. They come into this game, a couple pretty important guys there on the injury list. We see Aaron Gordon and Jokic both on the injury report. Jokic was questionable going into that game where he put up a 30-20-20 triple-double, so maybe we don't need to be too worried about him. Aaron Gordon, probable there with his ankle issue, so it sounds like he'll be good to go, and Jokic, guys, with his ankle issue is probable as well. So they should be at full strength for this game. They're going on the road to take on one of the toughest teams you possibly can, the number 1 in the West, Oklahoma City Thunder, who are fresh off a 107-89 win against the Trailblazers, where they sat out everyone. It was pretty impressive to see the second and third stringers really, buckle down and get a win. Aaron Wiggins putting up 30 points. Jalen Williams had his first career triple-double. Yeah, they're looking pretty good, guys. There's really no way around it. I thought they would have a hard time in that one with resting everybody, but it was not that big of a deal. And now they get to take on the Nuggets fully healthy and ready to go. They're going to have everybody rested and at 100%, SGA, Dort, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein, like everybody ready to go for this one. Even Caruso back and ready for action. So we'll see what we get out of the Thunder in this one. Obviously, they've been, the best team in the West, arguably the best team in the NBA this regular season. They come into this game 7-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 242.5. Denver 15-17 against spread on the road, 20-19-1 against spread after a win. The Thunder 19-10-2 against spread at home, 30-18-3 against the spread after a win this season. So they've been very good against spread after a win. Obviously, just very good across the board this season. The two times these teams have faced each other, not very recently. They haven't faced each other this year. I mean, it was back in November. The Nuggets got a 2-point win in that game, but obviously things are a bit different now. Guys, I don't really see any way around taking the Denver Nuggets here. Jokic playing out of his mind. There's really nobody on the Thunder that can guard him. Like, I know they've got some size in Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, but Chet Holmgren looks like a toothpick standing next to Jokic, and Hartenstein, he does some positive things out there, but defending Jokic, I don't think is going to be one of them. So definitely give me the Denver Nuggets here getting 7 points. This play has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. Next up, in another early afternoon game, we got the Phoenix Suns going on the road to take on the Dallas Mavericks. The Suns come into this game 29-34 on the year. They were on the receiving end of that insane, loss there in overtime against the Nuggets, where we saw Jokic play so amazing. Crazy stuff in that game, obviously. I mean, you don't see that every day. That was pretty wild stuff. On the Phoenix side, Devin Booker did have a pretty big game, 34 points from him, 29 there from Kevin Durant. A couple decent contributions off the bench. I mean, Mason Plumlee, a plus 11, 18 points. 11 points there from Grayson Allen. He was a plus 7, but despite shooting 42.1% from 3, 56% from the field, and, holding their own on the boards, they were unable to, just edge out these Nuggets with Jokic just going nuts out there. We saw a nice shooting day there from Aaron Gordon. Really shut the lights out. You don't see him going 7 of 9 from 3 very often, but that was part of the game plan to leave him open, and he was knocking down shots. We also saw Christian Brown, guys, shoot the lights out also. He was 4 of 5 from 3, and as a team, the Nuggets shot 52.5% from three-point range on 40 attempts, which really helped make up for the fact that they shot way fewer free throws. And Jokic, guys, despite getting mauled every time he touched the ball, only shot 3 free throws in that game. So the Suns have to be pretty depressed losing that game. Obviously a max effort situation for them there. And yeah, now they've got to just run it back, play another game. Things are looking very, very bleak for them. The Suns are currently, 2.5 games back of the Dallas Mavericks there for the 10 seed. So this is a very important game. These two teams battling it out here. The Mavs obviously not having a good time, just decimated with injuries. They're fresh off a 122-111 loss there to the Grizzlies. They got blown out by the Bucks the game before that. They've lost 4 in a row. Things are getting very, very bleak. They've actually lost 6 out of their last 7. The only win they have in that stretch was against the Charlotte Hornets. So it's been very, very bleak. Klay Thompson having to carry the load offensively kind of for this team, and that is just not where Klay's at in his career right now. We're seeing Max Christie having to do more. PJ Washington's been sidelined. Just looking at the injury report right now, guys, we see Exum, PJ Washington on there, Caleb Martin, Kai Jones, Spencer Dinwiddie, probably your best offensive option right now. That's not a great experience. Dante Exum with that foot issue, he's questionable. PJ Washington with his ankle has been ruled out officially. Caleb Martin with his continued right hip problem, he is questionable for this game. And Kai Jones, guys, with a quad injury, he has been ruled out for this game also. So, looking at the numbers, we see the Mavs are getting 7.5 points at home here. We've got a total of 228.5. Phoenix, 13-19 against spread on the road, 17-16 against spread after a loss. Dallas, 18-15 against spread at home, 16-14 against spread after a loss. But those numbers don't mean too much to me, guys, because they are playing, decimated. Most of the guys that helped acquire those numbers are out for the season. So this is a tough spot. I'm honestly leaning a little bit towards the Suns here in a big bounce back situation after, a pretty devastating loss, but I don't know which way this is going to go. I would say you could pretty much decide, though, whichever team wins this game is probably going to be the team that ends up in the 10 seed. The Suns, if they, show up and win this game, I think there's a good chance they buckle down the rest of the way and get that 10 seed. I think if the Mavs somehow manage to find a way to defend their home court and win this game, I think they're going to hold on there against the Suns, and they'll get the 10 seed. So it's an important game. I'm leaning a bit towards the Suns, but nothing going in the pinned comment from this one. Next up, guys, headed into the evening slate, we are looking at the Memphis Grizzlies going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Grizzlies have to feel pretty good. They kind of saw the old Ja Morant, but you beat the devastated Dallas Mavericks 122-111. You won by 11 points against the Mavs. I don't think it's time to celebrate. Obviously, no Jaren Jackson Jr. in that game, so that is, a bigger deal. Ja putting up 31 points, Bane playing well, putting up 27. A lot of reason to feel positive about this game, but I don't think it's time to freak out right now and be like, oh, the Grizzlies are back. They just lost 4 in a row, including losses to the Hawks and Spurs. That's not what this team is supposed to be about, guys. This was supposed to be the second best team in the West this season. They're currently in the 4 seed, but I don't know. It's looking a little bit scary. They're only 4 games up on the 7 seed. Like, this is a team that could still be in a free fall. It's going to be very important whether or not Jaren Jackson Jr. comes back. And when he does come back, how healthy will he be? Well, guys, it appears that he won't be back for this game right now. Yeah, he was ruled out for that Friday game. Sounds like, though, I mean, with him being on the floor there, getting some shots up, maybe he's a little bit closer than we would have thought, but I don't really see any indication that he's going to be back here for this game on Sunday. It's not impossible. Keep your eyes peeled, but I will be very, very surprised to see him back. Luke Kennard and Santi Aldama both on the injury report as well. Kennard, guys, with that back issue, he's doubtful for this game, which kind of sucks. He's coming off a decent game there against the Mavs. And, guys, Santi Aldama with the calf issue, he has been officially ruled out. So not going to be the full-strength Grizzlies here as they go on the road to take on the Pelicans, who haven't exactly been having a great time. They just got blown out by the Rockets, losing 146 to 117. That is not a great look. Obviously, the Pelicans going nowhere important this season. They have to be very encouraged with what they're seeing from Zion, though. That's at least one positive. He was a minus 37 in that loss, but he put up 20 points, 10 of 19 from the field. He's doing positive things on a nightly basis, and he looks like he's in shape for maybe the first time in forever. CJ McCollum didn't play amazing. We didn't play terrible. Neither did Trey Murphy, but the bench got pretty murdered. Jose Alvarado put up 17 points, so that's nice. As a team, they shot 36% from 3. They didn't shoot as many free throws, but it wasn't terrible. They did okay on the boards, like just not a very good game for them, and yeah, a very good game there, obviously, for the kind of desperate Houston Rockets. So we'll see what the Pelicans can do here at home. Obviously, being at home is a nice deal for them. They come into this game pretty much fully healthy, given who they have on the roster. We'll see if Zion can put up a big game in some sort of a bounce back situation here. The Pelicans are getting 9 points at home. We've got a total of 236. Memphis 18-12-1 against the spread on the road, 21-16-1 against spread after a win. New Orleans 16-14-1 against spread at home. They are 5-8 against spread on no rest. And we always have to worry about the possibility of Zion sitting out, back-to-backs here. But it was a blowout, obviously, so maybe we end up seeing, guys coming back. Zion only played 28 minutes. CJ McCollum played 28 minutes. They didn't play a heavy minutes load. So going to have to keep a very close eye on the injury news for this game. We also see New Orleans 17-28-1 against spread after a loss. But I'm going to be leaning here towards the Pelicans getting +9. This isn't going in the pin comment. We don't know for sure who's going to play in this game for New Orleans. But if they do actually have the full team ready to go, I'm going to be a little bit worried about that 5-8 against the spread on no rest mark. But most of that came without Zion. If he plays, I expect him to play well. And I expect New Orleans to keep this game very, very close. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StompTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now guys, back to the games. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Utah Jazz going on the road to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. The Jazz at 15-48 on the season, doing a real good job of tanking things out. They're fresh off a 118-109 loss there in a real tank fest against the Raptors. And yeah, the Jazz, they're intentionally losing games at this point. Like, they're holding out guys that seem to be fully healthy in an attempt to improve their draft stock. This is a team that really, really has their eyes and prayers and everything else set on winning the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. So we'll see how things go there in that game at the Raptors. Obviously, we saw Walker Kessler lead the way for them with 18 points, 17 there from Colin Sexton coming back from injury. He only played 24 minutes, only 6 of 15 from the field, so obviously not his best performance. They shot 25% from 3. They did crush the Raptors on the board, so that's something positive to look at. But the Jazz, not a team that's trying to win right now. They come into this game, we see Markkanen, John Collins, Walker Kessler all listed as out. Jordan Clarkson also listed as out. I don't know what we're doing here, guys. Markkanen with that back issue, out. John Collins, back issue, won't play. Walker Kessler, ruled out. You're resting guys? Come on. Jordan Clarkson, foot, out. This is a team that's trying to lose games, and it might be a little bit tough here because they're going up against the Philadelphia 76ers, who come into this game losers of 3 in a row. They are, frankly, just horrible at this point. It's not great. Paul George and the 76ers just got booed at the WWE SmackDown, which, not shocking, they have been the biggest letdown in the NBA this season. It's them or the Suns, and I would lean it towards being the 76ers, who are 21-41 on the year. They just got destroyed there by the Boston Celtics. Not a great look there. Kelly Oubre playing really well this season, to be honest. 27 points there in the loss, but yeah, no Paul George, no Maxey, obviously no Embiid. this team is going through it right now, guys. There's no doubt about it. They are going through it. And looking at the injury report, no help really on the horizon. We see Maxey out, Paul George out. This is going to be another Quentin Grimes, Kelly Oubre, Andre Drummond, Yabusele kind of game. And that hasn't always been great. And I'm a little bit surprised here to see the 76ers as 7.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 224.5. Utah 16-15 against spread on the road, 22-25 against spread after a loss. The 76ers 10-21-1 against spread at home. That's an NBA worst against spread mark at home. They are 12-27-1 against spread after a loss. That is an NBA worst mark against the spread after a loss. Guys, don't make me bet this game. If you're forcing me to, give me the Jazz and the points. I hate everything that I'm seeing from the 76ers right now, but this isn't a spot where I really want to be on either team, but it's really hard for me to imagine the 76ers winning a game by 8 points against anyone, so give me the Jazz and the points, but let's stay away. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cleveland Cavaliers going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Bucks in a game that is going to be on ESPN. The Cavaliers come into this game 53-10 on the season. They're on a, 13-game winning streak. They just barely edged out the Hornets. That was a crazy, crazy game, guys. You don't expect the Hornets to be that competitive, but every once in a while they just have one of those games. Bridges putting up 46 points against Cleveland probably doesn't feel great. We liked what we saw from Donovan Mitchell, 24 points from him, albeit a terrible shooting game. 20 points there from Darius Garland. Nobody on Cleveland really seemed to be shooting the ball particularly well. I mean, maybe DeAndre Hunter, he did kind of save their bacon there at the end of the game. He was a plus 17 and had 15 points, looking like one of the shrewdest acquisitions there at the trade deadline of any team in all of the NBA, with the exception of the Lakers absolutely fleecing the Mavs there for Luka Doncic. But we liked what we saw from the Cavaliers. Winning a messy game is definitely a good look for a team that's been winning a lot of games pretty. It's good to see them win a game a little bit messy. They come into this one fully healthy, so that's a big step in the right direction. They've been a very healthy team all season long, and that is, I would say not a secret, but a big part of their success. So we'll see what they can do here on the road. They're taking on a Milwaukee Bucks team that's probably a little bit embarrassed. They just had their 4-game winning streak snapped by a 111-109 loss there against the absolutely floundering Orlando Magic. Yeah, that was a little bit rough, guys. The Bucks now have to play on back-to-back nights. They're 10 games above 500, so that's a positive. Giannis played, how many minutes did Giannis play? 35 minutes in the loss, put up 37 points. Dame played 36 minutes, had 26 points. Nobody else really stepped up in a big way. Kevin Porter Jr., 12 points off the bench. He shot the lights out in the game. The Bucks losing a game by, only by a bucket, but despite shooting almost 48% from three, that is a bit of a red flag for me. So we'll see what we get from the Bucks in this one. Playing on back-to-back nights has not necessarily been their forte this season, and we don't even know for sure right now if they're going to have guys like Dame and Giannis available for this game, because if they're not guys that always suited up on back-to-back nights, especially this deep into the season, especially with the playoffs looming, so on and so forth. And they may not even feel like this is a game they can win. The Bucks are currently in the 4 seed. They're one full game up on the Pacers in that race to have home court advantage in the first round. So we'll see how things go there. Cleveland, guys, the Bucks are getting 8.5 points as of right now at home. We've got a total of 237.5. Cleveland 20-10 against spread on the road, 34-17-1 against spread after a win. Milwaukee 16-13-1 against spread at home, but 3-8-1 against spread on no rest this season. Guys, this feels like a no-brainer. Give me the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're fresh off of a scare there against Charlotte. This is not a team that likes losing games. They're going to want to keep that win streak rolling. If the Bucks don't have Dame and Giannis out there, who do they really even have? I don't think Kuzma, even if he does play here in the second half of back-to-back, is going to go nuts. And I don't think we're going to see great performances from Giannis and Dame if they do end up playing on back-to-back nights. So definitely giving the Cavaliers here. I think they comfortably win this game by double figures. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the San Antonio Spurs going on the road to take on the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Spurs come into this game fresh off a 127-109 loss there at the Kings. Fox played really poorly in his return there to Sacramento, and he got booed and some cheers, but also booed there by the Kings fans, which when you ask out of a franchise, when you come back, I would say you should probably expect to get booed. I think that's more than reasonable. The Spurs have been pretty bad. Obviously, no Wemby the rest of the year. Pretty much took the wind out of their sails. They've been alternating wins and losses the last few games. They beat the Nets, they beat the floundering Grizzlies, but kind of got slapped by the Thunder and then getting really slapped there by the Kings. Now this road trip continues, and things have not been all sunshine and rainbows since the acquisition of Fox. It's been a little bit brutal out there. Playing Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox together seems absolutely asinine to me, but I'm not an NBA level coach. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but it doesn't look like it's working great. This team has, Bismack Biyombo is the starting center, guys. If you watch him run up and down the court, it becomes very obvious this is not a team that's seriously trying to win games right now. So not loving what we're seeing from the Spurs. They're going on the road to take on a Timberwolves team that's playing much better here down the stretch, guys. They've won their last 4 in a row, so that's got to feel pretty good. In terms of where they're at in the standings, that's been a little bit of a struggle. They're currently tied with the Golden State Warriors. Both teams, just right there at their, one loss, one win. Either way, things are going to be very, very close down the stretch. Obviously, it had to be a little bit devastating there for Minnesota to see the Warriors get that very clutch win there down the stretch against the Pistons. But Timberwolves, guys, they've been playing well, no doubt about it. Obviously, getting DiVincenzo back has been a big deal. Yeah, Conley, Naz Reid, and DiVincenzo each scored 15 points, and the Timberwolves beat the Heat there in that very, very close 2-point game there at Miami. Crazy stuff in that one down the stretch. Obviously, Anthony Edwards having a pretty terrible game. 13 points from him, 4 of 10 from the field in 39 minutes. Like, bro, where did you go? 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Why? I don't know. I don't stop shooting. Probably not a good idea for him to stop shooting either. Julius Randle almost put up a triple-double, but was net 0 out there in the plus-minus. A plus 19 from Naz Reid. We saw pretty good stuff there from DiVincenzo as well. The Timberwolves shot 40% from the three-point line. Not something you can expect from them every night, but it was a pretty good effort there by the Timberwolves to gut out a kind of ugly win. They come into this game looking healthy once again. Obviously, no Rudy Gobert back, but other than that, they should be ready to go here. And they're 9.5-point favorites, so the odds makers think they've got a bounce back in them after a win, but not a very pretty one. We got a total of 229.5. The Spurs only 13-18 against spread on the road, 18-16 against spread after a loss, but those were numbers acquired by a Wembanyama-led team. Minnesota 11-19-1 against spread at home. That's pretty bad, guys. 16-19 against spread after a win, though. And guys, this isn't going in the pinned comment, but I will be shading towards the Timberwolves here to win this by double digits. I don't like anything that I see going on in San Antonio right now, and Fox and company don't seem very locked in. And why would they be? This is a team that might as well tank now that their season is effectively over. So give me the Timberwolves here to win by double digits, but not a play that I'm in love with. Next up, guys, we get the Detroit Pistons going on the road to take on the Portland Trailblazers. Detroit comes into this game 35-29 on the year. They're fresh off a very, very tough loss there. Draymond Green hitting a go-ahead 3. Yeah, that's pretty tough, guys. That's not what you think is going to happen. He making a clutch time 3. Not exactly Draymond's MO. It was a pretty decent game out there with the Pistons to lose only by 5 points against a very good Warriors team. Cade put up 31 very efficient points, made 9 out of 10 free throws. So very, very good stuff from him. Only, I was going to say only. I was looking at the wrong number, guys. He had 9 turnovers in the game. So that's definitely a problem. Not ideal, but liking what we saw from the Pistons in general. Malik Beasley, 17 points off the bench, but as a team, Detroit shot only 21.7% from 3, so that's not usually going to get the job done. The Warriors didn't shoot the ball well either, but Steph went off for 32 points, kind of got into it there with Isaiah Stewart, so good for him. And yeah, Gui Santos putting up plus 14 and 15 points there off the bench. The Warriors showing some depth out there, and they're playing pretty well down the stretch. I mean, Jimmy Butler only got to the line 7 times, managed to put up 26 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. This trade has really, really worked out in a major, major way there for the Warriors. So the Pistons have to be a little bit disappointed with how things end up. They played pretty well in the game, got the benefit of some whistles, and just weren't quite able to come out on top there. So we'll see what they can do in a bounce back spot. Obviously playing on no rest. That is a little bit brutal. I mean, they played this game, at Golden State, and now they have to travel up to Portland. So not a bad flight at all. And the assumption is that they should be fully healthy coming into this game. We don't know that for sure, so keep an eye on that injury report. But we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Portland Trailblazers, who are 28-36 on the season. They've lost 2 in a row, but losing against the Thunder would look not so bad if it wasn't against the second and third stringers there for the Thunder. They also lost by 10 points there at the Celtics, a game which they covered by half a point, by the way. We were on Portland in that game. But regardless, guys, not a great look to lose that game against the Thunder. And I don't want to say that Portland's tanking things out here at the end of the year, but it seems very unlikely they're going to claw their way into the playoffs or the play-in because they are 4 full games back there at the Mavs in the 10th seed. So we'll see what happens with the Trailblazers here down the stretch. They come into this game in terms of their health looking okay. Jeremy Grant should be back. Denny Adjeva is on the injury report, and he's dealing with a quad injury. He's questionable for this game. He hasn't played since back on the 5th. He did play 23 minutes there against Boston and played okay, but kind of limited minutes there. So we'll see what they do with him. But right now, guys, the Blazers are getting 2.5 points at home. We've got a total of 231.5. Detroit 20-11-1 against the spread on the road, 7-3-2 against spread on no rest, and a very solid 18-9-1 against spread after a loss. Portland 18-12 against spread at home, 18 and 17 against the spread after a loss. I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith here in the Portland Trailblazers, a team that's made us a lot of, got us a lot of wins this season. I'm going to be leaning towards the Pistons in this one pretty aggressively. We need to see that injury report, make sure everybody's healthy and good to go for this game. But if they are all playing, they've shrugged off these no-rest situations earlier in the season. I think that could be the case here. Give me the Pistons to go on the road and get the win and cover. Last but not least here, guys, on the NBA side of things, we've got the Sacramento Kings going on the road to take on the LA Clippers. The Kings come in this game 33 and 29 on the season, fresh off that blowout win there. A little bit of a revenge spot for them to go up against De'Aaron Fox and get a dominant win. We liked what we saw from Zach LaVine. He played great in this game. Looks like by far the better player in this trade so far with the way things have gone. He was 7-11 from 3, a plus 23, and scored 36 points. Not much coming from that bench unit, obviously, and they don't have Sabonis back, but this team's playing well. Valanciunas is looking great there in the center role, a plus 19, 15 points, 6 assists, 12 rebounds. This squad is playing its ass off. So we're loving what we're seeing from the Kings right now. They come into this game, looking, I would say, relatively healthy with the, obviously Monk and Sabonis have been missing time, but it hasn't really bothered the Kings that much. So we'll see what they do here. Obviously, we don't necessarily expect either one of them to be back for this game unless something has changed. No, definitely no Monk, and yeah, definitely still no Sabonis. So we'll see how things change there down the stretch, but the Kings come into this game playing well. They're going to take on a Clippers team that's also playing pretty well. We see, very good stuff from Harden once again, 27 points from him, 20 from Kawhi in that 105-95 win against the Knicks. Huge game there from Harden against the Pistons. So we're liking a lot of what we, a lot of what we see from the Clippers right now. Although they've been very all over the place, they're only 34 and 29 on the season, which has them now in the 8 seed. This was a team that was hoping to have home court, not hoping to have home court advantage in the first round, but maybe not looking like that's possible. They're just going to be hoping to avoid the play-in, but they're going to have to catch the Warriors, and that's not looking easy at the moment. So we'll see what the Clippers can do in this one, guys. Looking at the injury report here, it appears that Norman Powell probably going to miss this game, which is obviously not very helpful. That hamstring strain is certainly going to be a pretty big issue. He tried to come back against the Lakers. That did not go well. That leaves a lot of scoring burden there on Kawhi and Harden. So we'll see if they're up to the task, guys. The Clippers, 5.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 223.5. Sacramento, 15-16-1 against spread on the road, 14-16-2 against spread after a win. The Clippers, 22-9 against spread at home, 19-14 against the spread after a win. But do they have what it takes here to knock off the Kings by 6? I don't know. Without Norman Powell, that doesn't seem like an amazing spot to me, guys. I'm going to be leaning towards the Kings and the points here. You may even be able to find more than 5.5 points out there. So do your research, look there, or look around at different sports books if you can. But definitely be getting on those Kings, getting those points. I think this will be a very close game at worst, and maybe Sacramento can sneak in here and get a win. Now, guys, switching gears, we're going to head over to the college basketball side of things. We're looking at the biggest game of the day. Right off the bat, we've got number 17, Michigan, going on the road to take on number 8 Michigan State. The Michigan Wolverines 22-8 on the season, but fresh off of back-to-back losses. They lost against Illinois by 20, then they lost against number 13 Maryland in a close 71-65 game. So not exactly ending the season the way they would have hoped, and now they have to take on a very tough squad there in the Michigan State Spartans, a team that they already lost to earlier in the season. This team can rebound the ball well. They're a decent defensive team, a good offensive team, but in these huge situations, they've tended to come up a little bit short, and it's going to be kind of a big ask for them to flip the script here against a team that already beat them once this season. So we'll see how things go here. I am a little bit worried. The Michigan State Spartans have been absolutely cruising. They've now won, up to 6 in a row, including wins over Purdue, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin, and then they took care of business avoiding the letdown spot at Iowa their last time out. So now they get to close out their regular season against their in-state rivals. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, we're loving what we're getting from Jaden Atkins this season for the Spartans. This is a elite rebounding team. They play very, very good defense, and the offense continues to just kind of work out one way or the other. And when we saw these two teams play there at Michigan, the Spartans played great. They shot 40% from 3. They won that game despite shooting 3 less free throws. They did a great job. They dominated the boards 34-25. That's a big part of why they won. 18 points off the bench there from Trey Holloman, very, very good stuff. I don't. It's hard to find any negatives right now for Michigan State in this matchup, and that's why, guys, they're 6.5-point favorites. We've got a total here of 146.5. Michigan 5-4 against spread on the road, 16-14 to the over. Michigan State 10-5 against spread at home, 20-10 to the under. this is a little bit of a rough spot, guys. First of all, I think taking the under is extremely reasonable in this game. Both teams, well, maybe not both teams. Michigan State shot really, really well. Not so much there from the Michigan Wolverines, but I also think you want to take Michigan State to get the win and cover. I think they win this game by 7 to 10 points the vast majority of the time. They've just looked like the convincingly better team to me, and head-to-head matchups and all that kind of stuff, and I just have a very rough time thinking that Michigan is going to bounce back here on the road. That's a tough, tough task. Next up, guys, we have the Iowa Hawkeyes going on the road to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers out there in the Big Ten. Iowa comes in this game losers of 3 in a row and 5 of their last 6. The only win in there was against Washington. They did play a kind of competitive game against Michigan State their last time out, so that's something to feel positive about. And they did beat Nebraska way back earlier in the season by 10 points, so that's, positive things to hold on to, but I don't know if that's really going to translate here. I mean, this is a little bit rough. This team, very good offensively, but terrible on defense, terrible on the boards. Like Peyton Sandfort, great, 16.1 points per game, but you're shooting under 40% from the field. Like, I have a little bit of a hard time getting excited about that. So we'll see what they can do on the road against a Nebraska team that's 17-13 on the season. They're struggling right now. They've lost 4 in a row. They just lost a crazy 116 to 114 game there against Ohio State. That was wild stuff. There were 2 overtimes in that game, if I remember correctly. Yeah, just bonkers stuff. And to come out on the short end of that one has to be pretty freaking devastating, guys. So we'll see if they've got a bounce back in them. We're loving what we're seeing from Bryce Williams this season, an absolute monster, over 20 points per game, around 3 assists as well. This team can definitely score it, but the defense and rebounding, once again, major question marks. So looking at the numbers here, Nebraska 6.5 point favorites at home. We've got a total of 155.5. Iowa only 2-7 against spread on the road. They're 16-14 to the over. Nebraska 6-9 against spread at home. 15-15 to the over/under. So a 500 over/under team. I'm going to be leaning towards Nebraska to get the job done by at least 7 here at home. I think this is a revenge spot. I think that helps a little bit. They've been struggling recently despite playing well, having a hard time getting wins. I think that helps a little bit, and especially, guys, being back at home is a cure for a lot of things. I think they'll probably get the homer treatment here, and I think that'll help them get over this hump. Next up, guys, we're headed out to the American. We're looking at Eastern Carolina going on the road to take on Florida Atlantic. The Eastern Carolina Pirates, guys, they come into this one fresh off a nice win over Tulane, a 73-64 win. They've actually won their last 3 in a row. I'm not going to super overreact to that, but definitely some things are suddenly pointed in the right direction for this team at a very good time, and they also played a very close game against FAU earlier in the season. RJ Felton, an absolute monster, 19 points per game. We're liking what we're seeing from this offense. Around top 100, but the rebounding has been really noticeable, guys. Easily top 100. The defense, it's a work in progress. It is something that concerns me a little bit, but we'll see what they can do here, guys. They've played pretty well down the stretch. Now they get to take on an FAU team that they are ahead of in the standings there in conference play. So this could be an interesting game for the Pirates as they go on the road here. The Florida Atlantic Owls, they come into this one at 16-14 on the season. They're fresh off a tough 9-point loss at UAB. Now they get to go back home and take on ECU. I don't know if that's much of a reward. This has been a very good offensive team, but their defense, atrocious this season. The rebounding, not that much better. This is a team that has one big-time leading scorer, and the last time these two played, obviously that 2-point win there for FAU, but it was anything but easy. We saw East Carolina come back a little bit in the second half. Florida Atlantic had to shoot 50% from the field to to get the win. They only shot 9 free throws against the 25 there of ECU, so I don't expect that to happen again, but the rebounding was very much in favor of the Pirates. So another tough spot, and just in general, guys, I'm going to be leaning here a little bit towards towards ECU on the road because they're 5-3-1 against the spread on the road. They're an over team. Florida Atlantic only 3-7-1 against the spread at home. They're a slight over team as well, but I'm not interested in the over 152.5. I think this is more of a spot to lean towards ECU, and I think they find a way to make this probably a 1-possession game down the stretch. Next, we're looking at Minnesota going on the road to take on Ruckers out there in the Big Ten. The Golden Gophers come into this game fresh off of a very competitive loss there against Wisconsin. Really gave it their all in that one. Unfortunately, it just does not work out for them in the end. So, yeah, they've got one more shot out here. They're only 7-12 in conference play, so it hasn't exactly been an amazing season. They've got a great leading scorer there in Dawson Garcia. Dude's a monster, putting up 20 points per game, but yeah, I don't know. The offense in general, not very good, guys. 350th in the nation. They don't play at a super high pace. They struggle a little bit on the boards. They're not an amazing defensive team. This squad has a lot of problems. So we'll see if they're able to solve any of these problems here on the road against a Ruckers team that's only 14-16 on the season. They're 7-12 in conference play. They've played a little bit better here down the stretch. A very close game there at Michigan. Got blown out by Purdue, which, that's going to happen. They beat Washington. They beat USC, but Yeah, there's not an infinite number of positives. Obviously, Dylan Harper, one of the most exciting young talents in college basketball. 20 points per game, 50% from the field. Crazy, crazy bag. Like, this dude's a monster, but this team doesn't play very much defense, and the rebounding is absolutely atrocious. So we'll see what they can do here against a Minnesota Golden Gophers team that isn't exactly lighting it on fire. Ruckers, 4.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 143.5. Minnesota 6-3 against spread on the road, 17-13 to the under. Ruckers 8-7 against spread at home, 17-12-1 to the over. So no real lean on that over under. In terms of a side, I'm going to be going here slightly towards Minnesota and the points. I do think Ruckers could probably win this game. They are at home. That's obviously helpful, but I think it's going to be a very close game down the stretch. I think we'll be seeing, Dylan Harper and Dawson Garcia going bucket for bucket at different times, and I think that's going to lead this to being, a team that has the ball last might end up getting the win. Heading out to the American, guys, we are looking at North Texas, the Mean Green, going on the road here to take on the Temple Owls. North Texas comes in this game fresh off of another win. They've now racked up 7 in a row. They took down Charlotte pretty comfortably by 11 points, so that's nice. A way to avoid that, letdown after big wins against FAU and Wichita State. So this team definitely playing really, really well right now. There's a reason North Texas is in second place out there in the American. They're only one game back in the loss column there of Memphis, so they're putting the pressure on Memphis, a team that they've, lost to this season, but they played them very, very close. So it's going to be interesting to see how things go here. This North Texas team, obviously, a defense-first kind of squad that doesn't play with a ton of pace, but when you're giving up under 60 points per game, you can get away with that kind of stuff, and you get away with it pretty often. So we'll see what they do here on the road. Obviously, going on the road, defense, something that tends to travel. They're taking on the Temple Owls that are 16-14 on the season, and we've got a clash of styles here, guys. This team likes to get up and down the court, and they are trying to score it, but it's been a little bit problematic at times. They just barely edged out Tulsa in their last game. They barely edged out South Florida the game before that. They got destroyed at UAB. They lost at Charlotte as well. Like, this is not a team that really can be counted on a nightly basis. Despite the fact they're 56th in the nation in points per game, they're not very good on the boards, and they're not very good at all defensively. And those numbers should look a little bit better if you're going to be a team that plays with so much pace. So definitely plenty of concerns here for the Owls. I mean, obviously we love Jamal Mashburn Jr., but Temple getting 5.5 points at home. We've got a total of 135.5. North Texas 6-3-2 against spread on the road, 13-13 to the over/under. Temple a massive over team. They're 6-6 against the spread at home. They're 22-7 to the over in general. But I'm going with the road team in this one once again, guys. I like North Texas in this spot quite a bit. I just really struggle to see how they're going to figure things out against the the Mean Green, who already beat them 76-67 earlier in the season. So I think this is going to be a pretty easy spot there for North Texas. This play definitely has a chance to end up in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament Final. We've got the Bradley Braves taking on the Drake Bulldogs. Two teams you would definitely have expected to see there at the very, very top. Somebody like Northern Iowa maybe could have snuck in, but that didn't happen. It's Drake versus Bradley. The winner earns their way into the NCAA tournament. So going to be a great game to watch, guys. Drake comes in this game winners of their last 5 in a row. They knocked off Missouri State, Southern Illinois, and Belmont to get here. None of those games were like massive blowouts. I guess Southern Illinois kind of was, but they played really, really well, and now they get a chance to get some revenge against a Bradley team that they went 1-1 against this season. First game of the year at Bradley, they blew them out. Maybe not blew them out, but won comfortably. And then against Bradley, their last time, much more recently, they ended up losing by only 2 points. So we'll see what they can do in this one. Obviously, this team, very, very good. Bennett Steerett's a monster. This is a very good defensive team that puts up some points and struggles on the boards, but we'll see what they can do in this one, guys. I mean, Bradley, no slouches themselves. They've done some very good stuff this season. They're 26-7 on the year. They're fresh off of wins against Murray State, Valparaiso, Northern Iowa, Murray State, and Valparaiso once again here in the tournament. So they're certainly playing well. They think they're going to deserve a spot in the NCAA tournament. They play kind of a similar style here, guys. Not shocking to see these two teams playing close games. Duke Dean, a monster, 14 points, 4 assists per game. Nothing wrong with that. This team does struggle on the boards, though, a little bit, and that's something to be concerned with. The last time these two teams met, we saw Bradley, even rebounding there in that game, so it's a big step for them. We did see Drake get the home treatment, shooting 22 free throws versus the 12 of Bradley, and neither team, both teams shot a little bit above expectation from the three-point line, and Bradley really shot the ball amazing, making 53.5% of their shots from the field. So, looking at the numbers for this game, guys, Drake actually 1.5-point favorites here. We got a total of 122.5. Bradley 15-16-1 against the spread. We've got they're a slight over team. Drake 16-14 against spread, 18-12 to the under. I'm definitely not taking under 122.5, although I could understand why you would. These teams don't score a ton of points against each other. I'm going to be leaning towards Drake. I think they're just a slightly better team. I give them the edge in this one, and I think we see the Drake Bulldogs go dancing this season. Last but not least, guys, we're headed out to the Big Ten. We've got the Oregon Ducks going on the road to take on the Washington Huskies. Oregon comes in this game playing really well, guys. They've won their last 6 in a row, taking down Northwestern, Ruckers, Iowa, number 11 Wisconsin, USC, and a good win against Indiana. They've been playing great. They're trying to, play their, make their resume as good as they possibly can. They're going up against a team they already beat by 11 once this season, so that's got to feel good. They're around a top 100 offensive team. The rebounding numbers, maybe a little The defensive numbers have been a little up and down. They've been better here lately, though. No doubt about that. This team doesn't really rely on one major leading scorer, which can be a good thing at times. So we'll give them a little bit of credit here as they go on the road to take on the Washington Huskies, who are only 13-17 on the year. They're the bottom team out there in the Big Ten, only 4-15 in conference play. Great Osibor, not really having the season that it was hoped for, and yeah, they're fresh off a 92-61 loss there at USC. That's pretty embarrassing. Now they get to go back home to take on Oregon. We'll see how things go, but this isn't a team that I'm very impressed with this season. The defense and rebounding have been atrocious. The offense, really not much better. So look at the numbers here. I'm surprised to see Washington only getting 6.5 points at home. We've got a total of 146.5. Oregon, 4-5-1 against the spread on the road, 15-15 to the over-under. Washington, 7-9 against the spread at home, 17-12 to the over. So right off the bat, guys, I think over 146.5 is live in this game. You could be on that if you felt like it, but I think much better than that. I'm just going to take Oregon to win this game. I think they win this in a blowout, probably by 10 to 15 points. They're not going to be messing around here in their regular season finale. I don't care that it's going on the road. This team hasn't been terrible on the road at all. I think they come with an easy winning cover against a Huskies team that's probably just ready to have this season over with. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Get over to stumpthespread.com, get on that free email list, check out our premium plays, check out all of our tools and interesting stuff we've got over there for you. Get on that email list, though, for sure. Also, hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel. Both those things help you get closer to possibly winning a Stump the Spread hoodie giveaway. Let me know in the comments any questions you have out there. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for more sports betting action.